Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Circle of the World podcast, where we discuss Joe Abercrombie's First Law series. I am one of your hosts, Lord Chamberlain Jeffrey, and here are my co-hosts.
Selector George.
And Harrison, the Adeptus Historical.
We continue our coverage of Last Argument of Kings, the third book in the original trilogy. And for this episode, we'll be covering questions. So, let's get started. Okay, gotcha. If any of you guys have some questions as to why we're just doing questions and not more than one chapter, it's that questions is it's a longer chapter, but so much happens, and we want to properly review and dissect everything. So yeah.
Also, Jeff hasn't read the chapters.
I was working all day today and this week, so it's been rough, and we had to record.
Nobody's blaming you, Jeff. Nobody's blaming you.
Okay, all right, just making sure. Oh, yeah, if anyone is upset about that, we preemptively apologize, I guess, maybe. But you can always just file a complaint with our HR department. Just got to find who that is. Anyway.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, that's George? Okay. So, let's go on. And we should just thank the audience still. You guys have been great.
Wonderful.
8 of you have been fantastic. Just keep supporting us. Why not?
Well, actually, I've noticed a little bit of a change with the statistics lately.
Oh, really?
So every single time, so it used to be whenever we released the episode on a Friday, we'd get 70, 80 views, listens on that episode. But now we get 80 listens on that episode, and also 50 listens on all the previous episodes.
Oh.
So there are loads and loads and loads of people that are catching up.
Nice, love that.
Which is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. We love that for us, don't we?
Yeah, it's great.
When you say it like that, I feel like it takes away from it. But yes, we do love that for us.
It's for us, not you.
So yeah, we'll go ahead and get started with questions, and then we'll do our usual segments and everything. So first off with questions, we start off from the perspective of our homie, the one and only Superior Glokta. And he is taking a nice leisurely stroll in the docks, autumn fog, very nice and pretty. And through the fog, he sees someone walking towards him. And this person is flamboyantly dressed, let's just say. Once the fog clears, we see that it is Nikomo Koska, famed soldier of fortune, right?
Nice. Good intro.
Yeah, thank you. And Glokta's like, Koska? And obviously Koska is like, yes, it is me. I have bought a new hat.
Me.
It's me.
Koska, famed soldier of fortune. Sorry, I had to do it because that's how he likes to be introduced.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And Glokta, he asks him, he goes, so, thought we said inconspicuous. And I like how Koska is like, inconspicuous? I don't know what that means. No.
Because he's looking quite flamboyant.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a feather in his cap,
Mm-hmm.
and he's wearing this gold hilted sword and stuff. He's very obviously not trying to blend in.
Right. Yeah, he's not trying to blend in. And Glokta, in his mind, he's like, well, we're trying to be a little, trying to operate stealthily here. And Koska's like, basically wearing the equivalent of a flashing neon sign saying, look at me. And so Koska's like, oh, I remember you said that word, but I didn't remember that I didn't understand it. So, yeah, it's fine. Anyway, by the way, I picked up these people at the tavern. They're cool. They're homies. They're gonna, accompany us. Glokta looks around and is like, at least 24 men, and they are quite the odd bunch, I guess we could say. One huge fat fellow, one man with one hand, an almost dwarfish man.
It's like a whole fucking pirate crew. It's like exactly what you'd expect on a ship full of pirates on Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, it's actually like, it kind of reminds me of, it's like the criminal version of Peter Pan's kids. So.
And it's funny that people always draw the comparison between Koska and Jack Sparrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I think this is exactly where it comes from. Apart from the voice, obviously, because the voice
Right.
is very much like Jack Sparrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
And
the random pirate crew, yeah, definitely.
yeah, it's great, isn't it? So Glokta, he kind of notes like, hey, they kind of they don't really seem that reliable. And then Koska's like, unreliable? You crazy, man. There's not one of them that I wouldn't trust my own mother. And Glokta goes, are you sure? And then Koska's just like, yeah, she's been dead for 20 years. What could they do to her now? But anyway, he hired them for their guts and their sinews, not their looks. And I believe that he said that is it here he said so Casca basically reassures Glokta a bit, but Glokta is not really reassured. But what else can he do? So then he walks to a house nearby, and he rap-a-tap-taps on the front door, and it is Artie. She opens the door and she's like, what a delight to have someone to be able to converse with for once. Yes, she's so bored. And there's
And ravishly drunk.
yeah, there is a lot of empty bottles in the living room. So
What else is there to do when you're under siege, you know?
absolutely, I agree. I would have been fucking shit faced if I was her too. And Artie points out that she's trying to get through this damn book, and it's The Fall of the Master Maker. And
There are so many subtle references in this one like sentence.
yeah, I love it because Glokta goes,
I
oh,
mean-
that rubbish. Go ahead, George. What were you gonna say?
I don't think that's subtle at all. That is clearly Joe going, yeah. People
Right.
think this shit is bullshit.
Well, Glokta, he says, "Oh, that old thing, that's all magic and valor. Is I can't even get through the first one." And Artie goes, "Yeah, I'm on to the third, and it doesn't get any easier. So many wizards, I get them mixed up with one another. It's all battles and endless bloody journeys here to there and back again. Wink, wink. If I so much as glimpse at another map, I swear I'll kill myself."
So this
You're
is
right, George, not subtle.
clearly a Tolkien reference, right?
Yeah. I don't know if he's like shitting on him. I think he's like playfully like having fun,
I think it's
Absolutely,
playful.
absolutely. I mean, Joe has expressed in interviews before his love of Tolkien and
Yeah.
that kind of genre of fantasy. So
He might be making fun of himself to a certain degree. He's got wizards and things like that. To a certain degree, he's kind of like that. He's kind of self-deprecating. He's
Yeah.
simultaneously like
Yes.
pointing out Lord of the Rings, but also kind of saying, "Yeah, I know there's a lot of wizards, and now we're to the point in my story where there's just a whole bunch of battles going on and people traveling around." And
yeah,
Yeah.
all
Isn't
those
it
wizards
boring?
just get them confused. You'll way by us here. You give
And-
a fuck.
What Kalul?
Mamoon. And you know what? I think he's also like a little tongue in cheek with the whole the glimpsing at another map, because we know Joe does not do maps apparently. So
No, not until the Age of Madness, anyway.
that's true. So anyway, after already says she might kill herself if she looks at another map, Glokta says, "Yeah, someone might just do that for you." And Artie goes, "Excuse me, what?" And Glokta tells her that she's no longer safe, that she should come with him. And she's a little dismissive at first. It's like, "Oh, we've been over this. It's the Gurkish are, they're on the eastern side or the western side, and she's on the east." And he tells her like, "No, no, no, it's not the Gurkish that are the threat. It's my suitors. We're talking about Salt and Valent and Balk." And Artie's like,
And
"Wait, go ahead."
I love the fact that narrative, the whole suitors thing, and the conversation with Artie has been going on since the first, since the beginning of this book, pretty much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how to her it probably has been just that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now she's like, "Oh,
Ruh-roh. So she asks Glokta, I was like, "Are they a threat to me now?" And he goes, "Yeah, no, you don't underestimate their jealousy. Pretty soon, they're like anyone that I've ever known, either friend or enemy, is probably in danger." So he gives her a hooded cloak from a hook on the wall, and she asks him, "Where are we going?" And he's like, "Oh, a charming little house down by the docks. But it's not. It's past its prime, but it's kind of like us, So
it is kind of interesting that
Mhm.
he goes to her, like he goes out of his way to say,
Mhm.
"All right, we're gonna go. I'm gonna go pick up Artie," and I just think I think it's cool that he's openly admitting that he obviously cares about her, because otherwise they wouldn't go after her if he didn't care about her.
Right.
So he's also going out of his way to make sure she's protected, even though, ironically, she might have been totally safe by just staying at home. But you never know.
So then Casca, he kind of sticks his head into the room and he goes, "Hey, Superior, we should leave if we want to reach the docks by And he kind of just stares at Artie, and Artie goes, "Who is this?" And this is when Casca goes, and he just goes right into the room. He's like, he stretches out his arms, he takes off his hat in a gregarious manner, and he's like, "Forgive me, my lady, Nakoma Casca, famed soldier of fortune, at your service. Abject, in fact, at your feet." Our man saw one woman and just lost his mind, turned into Pepe Le Pew for a quick minute, and
Pepe Le Pew. You are showing your age there, Jeff.
so what? Anyway,
I don't know what that is.
You've seen Looney Tunes, right?
Looney Tunes, the horny
Oh, yes.
skunk, the horny
Oh,
skunk.
the skunk. Okay.
Yeah.
I know what that is. I just didn't know his name.
Oh, mon chéri.
That was perfect. Oh my god, Jeff.
Oh, and so then they're like they're kind of like all kind of like just staring at each other, and then Casca's gonna break the ice. He goes, "You see that fly right there in that wall?" And Casca's like, yeah, I guess.
Bro, it's just like when you see that guy who's trying to impress a girl at a party, and she's like, "You see that? I bet I can jump through that window." And it's like, bro, don't do it. You're gonna break your neck. What are you doing?
Yep. So Casca takes out a throwing knife, he launches it, and it completely just misses, hits the wall handle first. And Casca goes, "Shit, damn, I don't know what to say." And then Artie goes, I think I'd say shit. Casca, he's just, I'm just so dazzled. When the Superior told me of your beauty, I thought he must have exaggerated. Now I can see he underestimated it or understated it. And
I love that this isn't like explained at all. Basically, Glock's is just like, yeah. We talked, whatever. Okay, bye. Let's go. Like he brushes it off, which implies that he did speak to Casca about Artie.
He doesn't brush it off. She asks, like, "What did you tell him?" And he goes, "Nothing."
Yeah.
Which implies that Casca is just a salty bastard.
Are you
He's just getting in there. Yeah, I reckon so. Are you joking? Casca?
Yeah.
You never know.
Casca?
Yeah. Casca is a saucy bastard.
He tried to hit on Vitari, the torturer.
Yeah.
Hey, well, we all know Vitari's kind of hot, okay? Just no one wants to fuck with it.
That's true.
That's true.
It's true. And Casca, declares himself in love. And then, as George alluded to, she goes, "What did you tell him?" And Glokta goes, "Nothing. He is obviously overstating the case." And then Casca comes, he goes, "Especially when in love." And you can only just imagine him with the eyebrows going up and down. Especially then. When I fall in love, I fall hard. And as a rule, I do it no more than once a day. And Artie's just flabbergasted. She's like, "I don't even know whether to feel flattered or terrified." And Glokta goes, "How about both? But let's do it on the way because we gotta go."
I like to think she isn't flabbergasted and she's just completely level throughout this, and she's just like, "Yeah, fuck you, guy."
I think she's at the point. Yeah, I think she's. Well, I don't think she's confused, but I do think she's so drunk. Like she's obviously she's honestly potentially the most drunk we've ever seen her, just by chance. And so she's like, "Holy fuck, this is a lot." The whole time, all the way through this whole section, she's just like, "Whoa."
I was like, "Glokta, who you bringing to my house?" But before we get to the next part, next segment, we're gonna take care of that right now. As you all know, it's best meme of the week. Georgie boy, take it away.
So, thank fuck it's not Tumblerball this week.
Oh,
just because
whoa!
Do not want to get accused of favoritism.
Damn it, George! Don't kowtow to the masses.
I'm not kowtowing to shit. So we have Dr. Halverson MD. I don't know about his medical credentials. He could be a doctor, I don't know. But anyway, we have the Stephen Crowder change my mind meme, which is Yeah, everybody knows that meme. And it's by Ptolemy was thrown from the house of the maker by Canadians. Changed my mind.
Totally not propaganda. Totally not.
Bias propaganda changed my mind. Come on. Absolutely fucking brilliant. I fucking love
Hashtag
this
bias
shit.
did nothing wrong.
Every single day I think to myself, there can't be anything new on the house of the meme maker. It's all been done before. And then I see this, I'm like, brilliant.
Love it. Love it. Oh, we should. Did we mention that Sir Spaceman is going to be bringing back the memeing every chapter series for Best of Cold in a short time. So
Yes.
get on that, folks.
Yes. And on the House of the Meme Maker site itself, it actually says late summer, so he's kind of missed the mark there by a little bit. Get on that, Will. Will, change the description.
Whoa!
Yeah, you know.
He's waiting for us. He's waiting for us.
You know he's gonna be tight. He's like, these sons of bitches. I was waiting for them.
Yeah, but Will's a funny person to piss off, so it's fine.
Oh, yeah, he's pretty funny.
George, no offense. You say that about everybody.
That is true. You do like to.
Everybody's a funny person to piss off to a certain extent.
I knew it.
Know it. That's why you get all ageist against me. I see it. Okay. All right. So we'll return to our chapter reading of questions. George, you want to take it away from here?
Yeah. So Glokta, RD, Kosuke, and the crew arrive at the secluded mansion in downtown Adua. And I love this absolute brilliant description. Like the first part of this section is just agonized shrieking of the rusted metal, which is just a great kind of foreshadowing for what's to come. They all kind of shuffle in. Severard and Frost being all menacing on the sides there, because this is their home turf, isn't it?
Yep.
This is their home turf, and they're letting all these strangers in. And Glokta kind of knows that one of them is a traitor.
So they get to the mansion, and unfortunately, Severard and Frost are already there. And Severod's like, "Yo, what's up, boss? Where we got here? Why are you here?" And there's all these guys coming out, Casca's men, and he's starting to look a little nervous because he's like knows there's something wrong, and he's just looking at him like, "Oh, you know what you did, Severod." That's the look that he's kind of giving him. And then Frost recognizes the cue and just fucking yoink right as Severod tries to go for a run out of there. He just fucking axe chops him right in the neck, and Severod just goes straight down like one strike.
Judo chop, pow.
So he gets knocked down, and Glokta's like, "Oh, I knew it." Like he kind of hoped he was wrong possibly, but he's like, "Oh yeah, of course he is." And then he basically tells, Casca, like, "Listen, there's gonna be some reinforcements coming for sure. So you guys set up down here and get ready for him." And then he looks at Artie, and Artie is just like staring at the floor because she's like, "Oh, this is a lot. I'm kind of drunk still. There's all these criminals around. There's all this violence happening, and talk about violence." So she's just sitting there staring at the floor as he goes up to her, and he's like, "It's probably best if you come with me." And she's like, the look and how she acts towards him is like, "I don't know if it is, but okay, I'll come with you, I guess." Because she has never actually seen Glokta work. This is like a new experience for her overall. She just has heard about it.
It's just like a power thing, isn't it? It's like a rank. Somebody is higher up in society, and that's it. Like, oh, they're an inquisitor. They don't really think about what they actually do on their day-to-day job.
Exactly. And Artie's like, "Well, okay, like what did your guy do?" And he's like, "Severod, he let me down." And then she's like, "I hope I never had let you down then." And he's like, "I'm sure you have better sense." And then they go down into like the jail cells, and she can smell it smells like terrible down there because it's connected to the sewers. And then right as they're entering like where he's kept prisoners and keeping prisoners, A guy comes up to the bar and is like, "Superior!"
Please, superior, please.
And no other than Brother Longfoot is still down here.
Longfoot!
He's been down here the whole time.
Our boys. Oh no!
Missing a foot, somehow not gotten infected. I guess Frost has probably been
No.
taking care of that.
No, he's not missing a foot. His toes were just smashed. Remember?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Sorry.
You're good.
I might as well be missing a foot, right? But I can't help but think this is Joe's way of apologising for the fact that this character was so annoying.
Just punished him.
Yeah.
Just punish this poor fictional character.
But he basically is like, why don't you like, and you know, he's like, just no, shut the fuck up, leave me alone. And then he starts walking away, and he's like, why don't you stay here, Artie? Like down here, I'm gonna go down there and take care of business. And she's like, okay. she doesn't know what the fuck to do. So he goes down into this last room, and Frost already has, you know, Severod, you know, tied to a chair or whatnot. And unfortunately, we are about to enter into, I believe, one of the last torture scenes.
One of them.
And he basically, you know, Severod is still kind of knocked out, so he's a little drowsy.
Mhm.
So Frost wakes him up, and you know, Glokta goes on this little thing, like, okay, he takes off the mask, which I always think is interesting, and you can see how young he is. Severod is like not that old at all. He's younger than I am. And
yeah, he's like in his late teens, early 20s, right?
Yeah,
early 20s, I think. Yeah.
And at this point, he's like, you know, Severod kind of already like knows what's going on. So he's like, yeah, and he's like, he's looking at him, and he's like, I know, I told the woman who you were, but I had no choice. What else could I do? She would have fucking killed me. I had no choice. And he's like, oh, I know that you told her. I know you had no choice. He's like, well, then why am I here? He says, don't give me that, Severod. You know why you're here. And he opens up his case, all his instruments, and unfortunately for Severod, he didn't tell him the right truth. So Glokta goes on this whole little monologue how he doesn't really have a good day very often, and today's a really good day because he woke up without that much pain and got to go to the bath without that much pain, and so it's a nice day. And he's kind of tired of all this, and so as he is getting out all the stuff, you know, Severod's freaking out. He's like, he knows exactly what's about to happen, so he's sweating, he's breathing hard. He's like, no, please don't do this. And he's like, oh, come on, we don't gotta play this game. You know what you did. And they go back and forth for quite a bit. But unfortunately for Severod, Glokta does start chopping as he's asking him, you know, who he's talking to, what he's doing, how long he's been spying, things like that. He takes off most of his fingers, and then Severod's just like breaking down.
You're just breezing right through the.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to talk about every detail?
Well, did you want to talk about why Severod doesn't think Glokta will do it? He goes, "You wouldn't do it, not to me." You don't want to talk about that?
It's funny that Severod would think that Glokta has any kind of like sentimental feelings at this point when he's seen like every single thing that he's been through, apart from releasing Carl at Darnoida. Everything else has been completely ruthless.
Yeah, Severod is. I mean, I get it. I mean, Severod probably. I mean, anyone knows what it said. Well, what about me? I'm your friend. But like, Severod's also is the one who betrayed him first. So, like, what the fuck?
Right.
But he didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Didn't he though?
I mean, yeah, he could have been drowned. It said that was an active choice, but you know.
So he's got his hand down all the way to he's got a pinky left, and Severod's like, wait, it's Fountain and Bulk, the bankers. I told them. And he's like, aha. Glokta's like, aha, I knew it. I knew you told them. And he's like, what did you tell them? And he says, oh, you know, that the whole thing with he was looking for Reynolds murderers after they had already said that the emissary was the murderer. And he told them, he's just spluttering and everything. And Glokta's like, what else have you told him? And he says, I told him everything I knew. Absolutely everything. I had debts to pay off. They offered to pay. I had no choice. And And Glokta's like, no choice. I know exactly how you feel. And then he lifts up the cleaver again. And he's like, what? Wait! And then he smashes us down, chops off more fingers, or I think it's the thumb this time.
He basically just had half his little finger.
Oh yeah, that's right. He had just half his little finger left.
Oh
He
yeah.
said, then he says,
Slowly chopping down.
he says, what about the Archlector? How did he know about what went on in Dagosca? What did you tell him? And Sephiroth's like, how did he? What? I told him nothing. I told him, bang, and then his thumb flies off. And he's like, what did you tell Soul? He's like, I. He's like freaking out. He's going into like shock now at this point. And he's like, oh my god. He's like, I'm running out of hand here. So he's like, all right, Frost, tie it off at the wrist. Get the other hand ready. And Sephiroth's freaking out and stuff. But as he's tying off the wrist, he's just like, damn, this fucking sucks. He's like, this guy is, even though Sephiroth did betray him, Sephiroth is kind of his friend, like his at least at the very least his companion in arms,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's definitely torn up by it. And he's like, what choice? And I really like this part because it kind of has like this weird Logan symmetry where he's like, what choice do any of us have? Because I'm just following the advice too. Like I'm just following orders, aren't I? And like he's kind of questioning it though. He doesn't know where he exactly stands on it.
I mean, at this point, he's not really following orders. He's just
right, but he wants to
himself.
Yeah, he wants to think he is like, oh, I'm following Morovia's orders. Like, right. So I have to do that. I have to weed my garden. I have to do it.
Yeah.
Even though he doesn't want to, because this is his friend to a certain degree. But after all of that, he starts he puts his other hand up there. And he's like, come on, Sephiroth, you won't tell me anything. You won't tell me what I want to know. You know how this goes. You don't have much of a hand left. What did you tell is imminent? And now Sephiroth is crying. And now we're eaching into, like, pathetic territory. Like, oh, I'm starting to feel bad for Sephiroth because he's starting to see, he's like really, he's already told him about Valen and Bulk. Why would he protect the Archlector?
He's a young kid.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I never even have spoken to his eminence. I told him nothing. And then Glokta is like looking into his eyes, and he's done this before, and he's like, I think he's telling the truth. He's like, all right, I believe you. But then he starts thinking, but what then? He's like, now I have more questions than I had before. So who else has survived Dagosca? He starts going through the list. Vitari, no, she would have already done it. Casca, no, he's way too erratic. His eminence would never trust him. Then who? Who else was with me? And then his eyes meet Frost. Pink eyes, unblinking. They stared at him, bright and hard as pink as gemstones, and the wheels clicked into place.
Yikes.
I see. Neither one of them spoke, but Frost reached out without much haste, his eyes never leaving Glokta's, and wrapped both of his thick arms around Sephiroth's neck. The ex-practical could only stare helplessly. And he's like, oh, what are you? And boom, he just fucking snaps his neck.
Just fucking kills him. He just kills him. Like,
Kills Sephiroth. No hesitation. As soon as Frost realizes that the game is up, he just kills Sephiroth. No issue. Like, he had no comrademanship, which does bring Frost, numbers down a bit in my book. It's like, damn, bro, you didn't even give a fuck? Damn.
That was your homie. You guys made bets against each other about, like, who's a better shot and all that.
Yeah. And Glokta's like, whoa! Like, he realizes that he's like, holy shit, and because he's in this room with a hulking albino, and Frost just killed a guy super intimidatingly with his bare hands, no issue, and he's just like starting to walk slowly towards him, and he's like, wait, just tell me why, damn it, and Frost just shrugs, like he's like, I don't know,
He's like,
yeah, whatever. It's for the kids.
And Frost goes to punch it. It's for his children, right? Good paycheck. Frost raises.
He's got to keep that sewing business up and running somehow.
Exactly.
He like raised his fist to this and knocked Glokta out, and then there's a cleaver that just like goes super deep into his shoulder, and he's like, ah. And it turns out Artie came into the room and fucking took a cleaver and slammed it into Frost's shoulder, and he turns around and just fucking one-shots her. Just punches her once, and she just boom, boom, hits the table, hits the floor. She's out cold.
Well, can we point the funny part of this? Because it's not funny that he hit Artie, but they all just kind of like just stared at each other. before Frost like punches her.
Yeah, if there was a voice, it'd be like the Baez. What the fuck?
Yep.
And this, but because he hits her and turns away, Glokta seizes his moment. And Jeff, do you want to take over this part? I know you love these kinds of situations.
Sure, I thought you'd never ask. As Frost's back is turned, Glokta, he goes, "Oh hell no, I don't mind dying, but I'm not gonna let you just beat my ass. And that's my girl. That's my friend's girl. That's sister. You're not gonna do that. So he sets his feet as best as he can. He ignores the pain in all his jacked up legs, and he brings up his cane, and he jams his thumb into a little hidden catch, like a little button. Apparently, this man had this cane made specifically, and the click after he hits the button is basically that the wood at the end of the cane kind of just opens on little hinges, and there's a 2-foot like needle, just like a blade.
I always saw it as it's always like at the base, like the base has just got like a hinge on it, and it just like disappears.
Basically,
and I love the fact that there's no foreshadowing about this.
No, none
Like,
whatsoever.
usually, if a character has a hidden cane sword, they'd be like, "Oh, the cane made this funny rattling sound when they were moving," or something like that. There's some kind of indication that there's, some kind of Pavlov's gun thing going on where this is going to happen, but it doesn't. It's just like, "Oh no, I've got a sword in here."
It's also like one of the most like, I know you don't like this, Jeff, but I just always see it in this part. Even the first time I read it, this is like one of those anime moments in the entire series. He's like, "I still got it." He fucking like clicks a button and whips out his sword out of his cane and jab, jab, jab. Like it's the most over the top. Like holy fuck, like out of nowhere too.
Yeah, it is pretty out of nowhere for sure. As you know, as we just mentioned, like the blade comes out, or it is just revealed, and he lets go a piercing shriek. I guess Frost is like, "What?" And then jab, 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 jab. So basically, the first jab,
jab, jab.
Yeah, the first one got Frost right through the left side of his chest. The second one right through the right side of his neck. The third one right into his goddamn mouth.
I love that feeling, that description of scraping against the jawbone. That's awful. It's awful, but brilliant at the same time.
Yep. And the tip of the blade is just showing itself just under his ear before he brings it back out. And then Frost just stands motionlessly, and he's just like, oh, and then he just crumples to the ground. Oh, and just like that, ladies and gentlemen, our two favorite practicals have died.
I love how he turns around and he's just like, "Oh, my boys,
my boys.
What did I do to inspire?" And then he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a cunt."
Why did they betray me? Oh yeah, I probably just.
Okay. Harrison, did you want to continue on?
I like that the two interaction they have right after this is like we get a little bit of like Colonel Glokta like caring only about himself for a second here. Like you could always say Glokta only cares about himself, but it's not really true, is it? And where she's like, Artie's like, "Oh my god, he's dead," and Glokta just murmurs, "I used to fence. It seems the trick never entirely leaves you." Like he's just like, "Damn, I still got it." It is pretty badass, but
I mean, after seeing that much death, you would just kind of become acclimatized to it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but it does bother him though, for sure.
It totally. Absolutely does, and we'll see him talk about it later too.
But Glokta is one of those characters that just doesn't let emotions get to him.
Yeah, well, it's almost like, yeah, you're right. He doesn't let it control his actions until it reaches a boiling point, and then he can't help but it be his only action.
Yeah, of course, but he always thinks about things before, even if he's acting on his emotion.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, he's looking around. He's like, "Okay, if you wouldn't mind closing that case for me." He's talking to Artie, and she's like super disgusted with all the carnage in the room. So he's like, "Oh yeah, forget that. Some people aren't used to this life, but I still need my instruments, the case." And he kind of snaps at her, and she's like, "Oh, Yeah, and so she goes to get it, and there's this little moment here where Glokta like notices a piece of Severod's finger inside of her hair,
I absolutely love this bit. Like,
and he just goes, "You have
you
something."
have something right here. And she's just like,
she's like, ah! She fucking just like freaks out a little bit, and a hair like a finger falls on the ground. uh, uh, sorry, that part is really funny.
it's absolutely brilliant. And again, it's just the way that Joe Abercrombie brings this moment of levity into these really serious situations.
Artie says, "You should find another line of work," and he's like, yeah, that would be nice and all, but like I have some more questions that need answers too." So he gets everything wrapped up inside the room, and
Casca comes in.
yes, Koska comes in, and he was like, I thought you should know we had visitors, 6 practicals of the Inquisition." And then Glokta's like, and like thinking that maybe Glokta's like Koska switched sides, like join the Arch Lector. And he's like, "Oh, we killed him, no problem." He's all happy about it. And he's like, "Oh, good. He said, "Okay, we're gonna head to the Agrion immediately." So they start moving outside, and it's dawn is leaking up, and it's starting to become daytime. And then they notice something. There's like a warning bell. It feels a little off. They hear like armored men marching down the street, and they realize as they look over and they see some of the helmets of these soldiers that they're not Union soldiers. And Artie's like, "Are those?" And he's like, "Yeah, they're Gurkish." Dang it! So they go back inside to the mansion, and Kafka's like, "Damn, these Gurkish! I don't know for the life of me what I did to make them so upset." And they are trying to figure out what to do. Now Koska's like, "May I ask what the plan now is, Superior?" And Glokta just says, "No, we need to get to the Agrion."
I love how he just kind of replaces Sephiroth and Frost with Artie straight away. He's just like, "Right, you're my practical now."
Carry my instruments, wench.
And she just does it. She's just like, "All right, yeah, right, fair enough."
Yeah. Well, I think this is we can elaborate more on why she's all down to do it, but it does make sense why she's like, yeah, sure, and not just because the heat of the moment. She actually does have I think a logical reason for doing what she does. So
Oh yeah,
let's be real here. I mean, she's admitted before that Glokta is kind of like was like her childhood crush. So she gets knocked out and she looks up and she sees Glokta just like whip out this cane sword and goes jab 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 and fucking just kills this guy because he hit her. It's I'm just saying. She's probably a little bit spooned. As much as
hero.
yeah. Artie likes to pretend like she's not phased by any of that, but as she's admitted in the past, she does like romance. So
that's true.
She liked Giselle because he was confident.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, I see what you mean. So she's probably like, Glokta, get that toothless mouth over here, boy.
Yeah. No, I think she just might be like a little bit like, wow, you saved me. Like, sure, I'll carry your instruments. That's fine. Like, like you're kind of badass still. You still got it. Damn.
Okay.
I don't mean aroused. I mean more like wow.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Yeah, I mean, she's seen him as just this kind of cripple that comes around and has conversations with her every now and again. And all of a sudden, he's like this fucking action hero.
She reminds him probably of what he used to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And he also probably reminds himself a little bit of what he used to be. I think it's such a fantastic. This chapter is such a good character work on Glokta, and everybody knows that Glokta is the best character. So
he is pretty amazing. But Glokta's like, well, the plan is, I guess, we must go underground. There's an entrance in the sewers here, one that can get us all the way to the Acreon if one knows the route. And Koska's like, sewers are like nothing. I like nothing more than wading through life's filth, as you well know, but sewers can be quite confusing. Do you have a route? Do you know it? And he says, actually, no.
But I know a man who says he does.
Yeah, and
A
he
man
turns
who
around.
apparently has a supernatural sense of direction.
And I just love the whole he hobbles like back through the door. And he's like, "Brother Longfoot, I have a proposition for you."
I always when I read that, I always like in my head the inflection goes, "Brother Longfoot, I have a proposition for you."
That's not too far off.
It's not even that far off. It's pretty accurate.
Oh shit! And I believe that's the end of the chapter, right?
It is. It is
Oh, look
indeed.
at that. Well done, Harrison and George. And so, tell me, how would you guys rate that chapter?
Well, I'm going to give that one an 8 out of 9. It's a high score because we get. It's the combination of the whole, like, the espionage part of Glokta's arc, right? We know who's snitching on him. Both of them, apparently. Both of his close companions are snitching on him, and we get a really, really good, satisfying ending to that part of the chapter. So, yeah, 8 out of 9.
Mm-hmm. Harrison?
I'm gonna go with you, George. I think 8 out of 9. I think that's absolutely fair. It's a really big, like, climactic. It's unexpectedly has like this little action bit with Glokta and his cane and his cane sword. And it's so thrilling, even though it's just one like motion. It's so thrilling to see Glokta like, get to be this action hero for a minute, and in a way that was totally unexpected. And it's like sad at the same time that Glokta lost both his boys, Severod and Frost, and he thought that he just thought one of them did it, and he realized that like damn, they both betrayed me. Like that's fucked up.
But it's also sad that Glokta might have forgiven Severod for all that he'd done, but Frost snitching to the Archlector? No.
Yes, exactly. And it is definitely very multifaceted. There's so much with Glokta's character. There's tiebacks to like him fencing, to him and Artie's relationship, to him and Costco's relationship, to him and Brother Longfoot. We get another torture scene. It may be the best Glokta chapter in the series. No, you know what? Fuck it. It's a 9 out of 9 for me. It's the best Glokta chapter.
Okay, I was gonna give it a 9 out of 9.
Fuck it. I'm gonna change my score as well. 9 out of 9.
George, you're drunk. You can't do that.
Yeah, I can. Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you, Jeff.
Oh shit.
There's no rules.
There's no.
I didn't sign shit.
No rules. Yeah.
It really is. I think after thinking about it and talking it out loud, I think it's the best Glokta chapter overall.
Yep, I think so. I mean, it's one of my favorite. I think it is one of the best, if not the best. I mean, you get such a journey just through the progression of Glokta's, I guess you could say, his emotional journey. The what George you said, the like the whole espionage side of it, finding out who's the rat. Turns out it's both of them. Fuck. I mean, we still got to figure out what's going on with the Archlector, but just that, and like I think what you said, Harrison, whereas like the whole relationship with Casca, and then Artie, and then obviously you know what's happening with Severard and Frost, and what you said, like the culmination of those character relationships, the little love triangle we have over here, and the destruction of it, the dissolution of it. It's just like, God, why Frost? Why Severard? Why? Oh God. But yeah, 9 out of 9 for me.
It's up and down the whole way, and you're so like you always remember the moments in this chapter, like the oh shit, Frost is gonna fucking kill them all, and then oh God, he went to the cave door. Oh, I can't believe this happened. Oh wow, it's such a good chapter.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the fact that the odds are so relative for the characters.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like different characters have different things to contend with. Like Giselle has to deal with running a fucking country and dealing with Baez, and Glokta's just like in a basement stabbing his friend. But they feel so equal. They feel so interesting and just compare. There's not really any other author that does that for me. I don't know about you guys.
Very, very, very few.
And yeah, the fact that you feel the same excitement from Giselle's charge as you do with Glokta stabbing Frost is very excellent storytelling.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Jab Glokta. Jab.
Jab jab. So that is the end of that chapter. Hold on. We're already at like 50 minutes, I think.
Perfect.
Yeah. So do we just want to do the character spot and the community interaction segment?
Yes, I think so.
All right. So we'll move on to our next segment, which is our character spot. Who else could it be but good old practicals Frost and Severard? Boys?
Loyal companions up until a certain point.
Well, I beg to differ. I think Frost was a spy from the beginning.
Nah, I don't think from the beginning.
Not from the very beginning, but very early on.
I reckon it started just when Salt started insulting him.
You mean the beginning of Last Argument in Kings?
Yes, exactly. Because when they come back from Dagoska,
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
He starts like every single time he walks into the room, he's like, "What is that fucking freak doing here? Get him out of my sight!" And Frost is just like, "Yeah, all right, whatever." And it's just looking back, it doesn't seem like much, and it just seems like Salt being cruel.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just for them, Salt's trying to throw Glokta off.
Yeah, I think. Well, it is weird that he doesn't have any. He sent Vitari with Glokta to keep an eye on him. Vitari basically failed, kind of switched sides, or he wasn't sure how she felt about it. So he enlisted Frost instead. So it does make sense that Frost would have switched sides, like beginning of Last Argument of Kings.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't get much character. We don't get any fucking character development for Frost because he is essentially just
a henchman. He's a henchman.
A henchman, yeah, he's a henchman. He's a crony. He's one of those guys,
Yeah, and then we never know the circumstances behind. Like, it makes sense. At least
what we do, he's got a sewing club.
Yes, yes. But what I'm saying is, like, in my head, it makes sense that as soon as Salt starts putting the pressure on Glokta, like after the whole thing with Giselle getting elected and then turning out to not be a so easily controlled king, and Salt is getting frustrated with Glokta, that maybe either Salt starts prodding to see where the weaknesses are, like who he could turn that's on Glokta's side, or maybe Frost sees what he thinks is the writing on the wall and volunteers himself to Salt as to be the spy for Salt.
Yeah, it might be a combination of both.
Yeah.
Or even that he has been, up until now, really kind of ignored. Like, he's only been known for his strength because, he's a big hulking fucking albino who can't talk properly.
Yeah.
He can't exactly spy on people or do anything subtle.
He's trying to come out of his cocoon and let himself shine. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Let fucking Frost shine. Let him do his job.
God damn it, Glokta.
You idiot.
God, what a terrible middle management employee.
Why? I thought they were a great team. You guys are just tripping.
They are a great team. Well, no. Here's the thing, right? I think this is actually like a good point in terms of Severod's and Frost and Glokta's relationship is how they all viewed it. Severod had seen it strictly as like just a workplace, strictly. Like he's just like, all right, he's like, all right, I'm going to work. Yep, he got a side hustle. He's got his own thing going. We don't know Frost like how he felt about it, but he was just a muscle, really. That's all he was. And then Glokta actually had more investment apparently than both of them. He cared more than both of them combined because they were his eyes and his ears. They were how he was effective. They did hit part of his job for him. Like he was way more invested than they were.
Right. Well, I don't know. I disagree. I think they did care about him in their own way. I mean,
they did.
They bought him a chair. They bought him a chair.
That's true. I think they
went
care about him as they do like a good boss, but not the way that he thinks about them.
Yeah, maybe.
That's true. I reckon Glokta is probably the best thing because it's just to work for. Imagine working for Goyle, right?
Yeah, exactly. Goyle's a piece of shit.
You gonna get him a chair? No.
Right, you're not getting him a chair. But also, remember, Glokta, after the investigation into the Mercers, I believe, he came into a lot of money from them and he shared it amongst Frost and Severard. Even when they bought him the chair, if Severard says, you You've always done right by us. You
Mhm.
did well with us with the Mercer payout. We want to show you our appreciation of you.
I
And
mean,
there,
even back to the first chapter,
I
when he
think
says when he says to Severo, "Take a cut for your wife," and he's like, "Yeah, when I get one."
I think I think that I think Severard cared about Glokta, more than just like a very like whatever boss employee relationship. I think it was a
Yeah.
bit more. I mean, think about like he did resist against Pharaoh, like telling Pharaoh for a little bit until she had the knife to his neck, and
Yeah.
then right, and then Frost he's the wild card because we never know what he's thinking. There's no indication whatsoever he's thinking except when he's annoyed or when he's hot because it's sunny out. So
Yeah, it's a good point, Jeff. Yeah, and I don't want you guys, I don't want anybody to think that I'm thinking like Sephiroth doesn't care about Glokta at all. I just meant like I think that Glokta cares more about them than they did about him. So
that's
whenever
that.
they
Yeah,
betray him, he's like, "Holy fuck, this is crazy! I can't believe my boys would betray me like this." But they're like,
yeah.
Sephiroth's like, "Yeah, I like you, Glokta, but like it's the banking house of Valen and Bulk, and I had debts. I had to do my thing. Like I don't
Pay them
understand a big
bills,
deal."
boy.
And
Yeah,
the funny thing is that Glokta actually understands that because Glokta is in exactly the same situation,
yeah.
Yeah, totally.
and also in exactly the same situation when it comes to Frost as well, because he's also in debt to Salt. So I feel like this is what I really want to come to here, is that this is Glokta killing his obligations and his past, not only metaphorically but literally.
I think. Well, that's a great point.
He's killing his debt to Valentine and Bulk, and he's killing his debt to Archlight to Salt.
I think symbolically in the book that's definitely the case, but we all know it's
We'll
not
see.
true.
Right, but yeah.
Well,
Well,
we'll talk about that.
Yeah, to highlight Frost and Severod as we round this off, and we talk more about the relationship.
Mhm.
Frost was fucking hilarious this whole time. We'll be missing him on the podcast with his his fucking like
one-liners.
his one-liner puns and shit. Oh my god,
Oh my
hilarious.
god, should we do a few renditions there?
Oh, what was one of them?
Poison.
Poison. Oh, I remember that one.
What could have killed this man with an open, like an obvious open, gaping wound at his throat? Poison.
Poison.
That is still like one of the best.
Yep. That the part when they were entering the guild of the Mercers, and Jallenhorn is like, "Throw down your arms, and you will not be harmed." As soon as they do, Frost beats the fuck out of both of them.
I mean, even the way he punches Ardy in this chapter is funny.
Whoa! You support?
It's funny. It's like they met eyes for a moment. Then he punched her in the face.
He just full on Dexter. Like he doesn't hold back punches either. She's like she's out, bro. It's like damn.
I can imagine that. It's
And
like
this is
chops him in the shoulder. He turns around, looks at her, and just goes, bang.
now this is gonna sound terrible, but it's gonna sound really bad. But I mean this purely in the like statistical, logical way. Artie can take a punch, so she gets up pretty quick after Frost. Nobody else gets up quick after Frost hits them.
That's true. I mean, we know that Ardy has been, a victim of violence in the past. And we know she's a fucking tough nut. She's a tough cookie, you know.
Yeah, she is.
No one else ever gets it from Frost punch. Artie gets up like literally he stabs him and that's probably like at most like a few seconds and she's back up. Like damn.
She probably just like wipes her mouth of all the blood and is like, "All right, let's go again, punk."
She's like, "My daddy hit harder than that, bitch."
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever been hit by somebody hit in the face by somebody bigger than you.
Oh yeah.
It fucking hurts, man.
Yeah, it's not a fun time.
Movies do fucking downplay this fact. People can get punched in the face and get up like a second later. No, you cannot. If you get a fucking bone broken in your face, or even if you get a bruise in your bone or in your nose or in the cartilage or anything like that, you are fucking absolutely incensed for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, like a good concussive blow. Yeah, for sure.
Not even concussion. I'm just talking about the actual pain of it.
Mm-hmm.
And to round it off with Severod, some good moments for Severod. His birds, unexpected. Like anytime like he meant it, like Severod became like a more of a human being through the story. You thought he was like some kind of like scumbag, like some scoundrel, and then as it keeps going along, he is like, oh, he's got these birds, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go out in the town. I'm gonna spend this money. Like he's like, when I'm off the clock. He's like, when I get off the clock, I'm gonna go party, because that's what young kids do. Like that's what he's like. Oh, I gotta go home, take care of my birds. Oh yeah, he was rather young. Like he's fairly young. Like damn. Like
Yeah, I know a girl down by the docks. She can suck a golf ball through a hose.
Severod is a very like Severod reminds, I feel like as a reader, like yeah, like he's like the henchman, right? But like whereas Frost resembles like the muscle and the unpredictability and just like he's the henchman. Oh my god, it's scary. Severod is like the human side of the henchman role.
Yeah.
And I think that their whole dynamic of the whole thing is just so well written.
Hell, I'd even go so far as to say that Severod is the most normal character in the book.
I don't think so. I don't know anybody who takes care of birds in real life. I don't know any.
What? You don't?
No.
What?
Not like as a like I've met people who have.
Okay, so just substitute the birds for a different pet.
Yeah, like ferrets.
Exactly.
All right, that's fair enough.
I guess they don't have birds or
You know
ferrets
what I mean?
in Oklahoma. I don't know.
No, Severod, like you say, the torturing thing is just a day job. Like how people work for the FBI,
Yeah, or CIA maybe more apropos here.
Well, it depends on who you listen to, innit? Well, just for the record, I'll never kill myself. Especially not by 2 gunshots to the back of the head.
Yeah. I'm going to.
But anyway, Severod is the main character in these books. Hashtag Severod is the main character.
Okay, George is just on her. All right, so we wish you farewell.
Merry Christmas.
Farewell, you young lads, Practical Frost and Severod.
Frost, we'll miss you.
You beautiful sewing family man, and Severod, you horny bird carer. Bird taker. I don't know
what lover.
Bird lover. Just
hashtag the main character.
We will never find another of your like ever again.
Until Vic.
Until somebody else. Anyway, so so we'll move on to our last segment. Hold on for a second. Harrison, why did you say that in the text?
Oh, because sometimes you like get anxious.
No, I was trying to say something else. I wasn't trying to like cut anybody off.
No, we're all good.
Yeah,
we're all good. I didn't think there was something wrong. I just wanted to let you know, like, hey, don't worry. I don't want you to think we're getting too off track.
No. I thought we were cool.
And just to be clear, I was being sarcastic when I said, well.
I figured you were. All right. So our community interaction segment for this episode actually is we're going to talk about an email we received. George wants to read it over air, and we'll talk about it. Go ahead, George.
Yeah, I mean, almost every single episode, ask you guys to email us, message us, whatever. And we actually got an email a couple of weeks ago. Funnily enough, we don't get that many emails, so we don't check the email that often. But we're so glad that I checked it. And this is a message from a fan. I'm so glad that I stumbled across your podcast. I've listened to the complete back catalogue over the last 6 weeks.
Most impressive.
This guy has listened to 70 episodes of this show in 6 weeks, which I can't even
fathom.
That's an incredible dedication. So if you're listening right now, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy said, just wanted to say how much of an incredible journey this has been to hear you guys retelling the First Law trilogy, and with a unique spin that you guys are putting on it. Capital effort, and keep up with the great work. And also invited us for a beer in Australia. So
right now we have to go to Australia.
Now we gotta
whenever we fancy having a 30-hour flight to some desert with loads of spiders in it, we'll get on here, yeah, Matt.
Yeah. Once I overcome my crippling fear of arachnids, sure, why not?
But no, seriously, thank you so much, because these kinds of messages are the reason we keep doing this, right? We want to know that, somebody's listening.
We want to know at least somebody, like, please. But yeah,
it really does make us very happy.
It makes us very, very happy to review messages like that. So thank you so much.
Yeah, we want to encourage more of this. Please, feel free to shoot us a message over Instagram, Twitters, emails, as we as you just obviously heard us talk about. Yeah,
and it doesn't have to be our praise. We like those, of course, but if you guys want us to talk about a subject, or you guys want us to highlight an aspect or anything like that,
just come at me. Come on.
Yeah, come fight me.
Fight me. I'll give you my address. Come and fight me.
Yeah.
I like how that went from like, we love an email to fight me.
Fight me.
We'll record it and put it up and reenact a fight scene or something. I don't know. I'm really sure.
Yeah, George is hammered. He's sloshed right now. But yeah, no, please, in any way, shape, or form, we would like to interact with more of you, even on our little subreddit that we don't really. I mean, I know we have one. We don't really go on. We hang out in the first
No,
law.
we don't have one, Joe.
I could have sworn you said we had one.
No, like 3 episodes ago, we talked about the fact we don't have one.
I forget. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, yeah, please, again, send us criticism. Why not? Send us ideas or topics you want us to cover. Maybe if you want us to do like YouTube videos or anything, please do so.
Anything.
You want
if it's just schizophrenic ranting, whatever.
Right. Or if you want to see,
they get it, guys.
Or if you want to see Harrison in a Speedo, just ask and you shall receive.
Yes, exactly.
Jeffrey.
I've already got those pictures, so it's fine.
You both already have those pictures, Jeffrey. Don't act like
we don't talk about that trip.
Ruh-roh. But seriously, so we'll just say your first name. We won't say your last name, but thank you very much, Matt. We really do appreciate the kind email. That's the show, everyone. We want to thank you all for listening and supporting this podcast. As you know, this is a passion project for the 3 of us, and your support really does mean a lot.
Join us next week. Sorry, Will. We are going to be doing a few less chapters, probably because we're getting into the thick of Last Argument of Kings. So next week we will be doing just Day of Judgment.
And make sure you follow us on social media, and please, like Matt, email us or send us a message or something. We are Circle of the World. You can find us on Reddit, and our email is circleoftheworldpodcast@gmail.com.
And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or any podcast app that you use. And please make sure to rate and review this podcast, as it helps. Thank you all again for listening.
Jab Glokta. Jab.